When you underwent Tommy John surgery, I mean, just the whole process from the moment of the injury to maybe realizing what the injury was to realizing the process that you would now be undertaking for more than a year, how did it all start and how intimidating was that to know, oh my gosh, I mean, a lot of guys are going through this these days. It's unfortunately a common thing, but it's not an easy thing.
No. Mine happened like just one day.
Yeah. It's like one pitch in an exhibition game, right?
One pitch in an exhibition game where I felt it, and it felt like I pulled like my tricep pulled or something, or that was me being optimistic. But I was fighting for fifth spot. We had a new kind of regime come in, a new manager, and a lot of the stuff that I would like to do, or I wanted to like kind of get my career going in my third year is. I just really needed to. I ended the year before as a reliever, and now there was a spot for me again. So it was looking like I was going to get the spot. So I decided I'm either it's nothing, and I'm just like banged up a little bit, or I'm really hurt. It doesn't matter.
Right.
But either way, like if I come out of this game at this moment, I'm done. So I threw 2 2.2 more after I'd blown out.
Excuse me, I didn't know that part.
Yeah.
You kept pitching.
I kept pitching.
Who does that?
Well, it's actually more common than you think.
Really?
With Tommy John, I had what's called a complete avulsion. It literally just came off, like cleanly though. Extremely cleanly, yes. But it's not as gross as you think it is. It's just basically... It's not a big ligament or anything. It's kind of small, so it's just like a very small little thing that happens to be close to a nerve, so it hurts. But I had inkling, kept throwing, actually threw pretty well after, and then came out of the game. The next morning I woke up, it was like, oh. So we got an MRI that day.
They knew it.
They looked and they're like, man, it's not even there. So it's voles, but easy fix. So. I'm glad that I was able to be like, we're getting surgery. It's next week. Let's go. Because I've had teammates that are like, it's torn, but you could rehab. Like, that's not fun.
14 months, I think it was for you, right?
16.
16. There you go. That's a long time to not be able to do what you do.
The thing that you...
that. And whether you like it or not, that defines you or that you're known for...
Or that you're working towards.
It's like a mental game at that point. I mean, it's a physical recovery, but it's got to be like a mental test. Probably one of the bigger mental tests you've gone through. Yeah,
it's a test, but there's silver linings to everything, just like getting traded, I think. At that time I had like a little bit of a back issue the year before. I missed a lot of the season. Something that would have been easily preventable. That was what we just didn't know what was going on for a while. I got that fixed. So I was excited, and then to get that in, to know that you're about to miss the entire year and part of the next one, when you feel like you need to be establishing yourself is scary. But I also that's when I first started streaming on Twitch the year before that. So now I'm like, well,
led to your future.
So let's see how, like, I'm gonna have all this time. So I tell guys who get Tommy John, like, hey man, how'd you handle this? I said, do something that you wouldn't be able to do if you were having to play baseball, because this is all of our time and all of our energy. And you miss out, you sacrifice a lot of other things that people your age are doing. So maybe work with the team and see what options you have for maybe going to school or. I leaned into that. That was my trade-off for having to live in Florida for an off season.
Good for you.
So, and I just got really lucky that there was a certain game called Fortnite getting very popular at that time. So
that's coming later in this chat. I've got the notes here. That's coming later. Your average fastball velo goes from 93 in 2015 to 96.1 in 2022.
Yeah.
Is that part of the surgery and things being tighter or healthier? Like, I'm thinking usually the trend in velo goes down over a pitcher's career.
It does.
Yours has gone up.
There's still time. But
did you know that?
I did know. I did know that the last 3 years actually have been the hardest I've thrown. But there's some data stuff that's been found over the years that have unlocked a couple things for me.
So there is a reason behind it.
Yes. Okay. So there was a big uptrend in 2015. I had a pitching coach named Wes Johnson who saw something, and we worked on it, and I immediately added a lot of velocity.
That's amazing.
In 2019, though, I was half of the time I was a starter, averaging like 92, and then I went to the bullpen. I was averaging over 95. So that evened out.
Got it.
So I knew it was in there. I had seen some 97s and 98s from me. me in 2015, and then 2016. So all 2016, I also kind of dabbled in starting again, and then 2017 is when I tried to come back as a starter. So like this, once I really committed that I am a reliever, that also allowed me to be more consistent with velocity.
That also makes sense too, because you can exert yourself
just
over
let it eat.
3 or 4 outs or whatever versus 5 or 6 innings.
Exactly.
Of all the pitching stats that we now have here in 2023, and all the things that have, like, I'm even looking up, what does that mean, or how do they measure that? Which ones matter to you most, or do any of them matter to you most? All of the advanced stats. Spin rate to the thousands of RPMs, whiff percentage, barrel percentage.
A lot of it is just like it's monitoring stuff. Okay. So I one weird thing when I'm talking to young guys about how to use data is that they're in a place where they're actually trying to maximize and maybe even change things to like go the other way. But basically, I use data to tell me that the things that I already know about myself are either improving or being consistent and maintained. And if things are getting off, sometimes how my pitches are moving or working can be demonstrated, like, oh, that outcome's coming because this isn't moving the way that it does, and maybe we can find that problem. So usually it points us in a direction. I try to focus almost exclusively on things that I can 100% control. So a lot of that has to do with is like my statistics that I keep for myself. Rating my command for outings and going through and seeing how many of the spots that I hit the way that I wanted to hit them, replaying what the situation was and if I'm okay missing that way and giving myself credit for that. Things like that. That's kind of the high level. But most importantly, I'm always like my guilty pleasures, I guess, are whiff rate and strikeout percentages and average action velos on certain pitches. Those also inform things aren't going or are going very well with those pitches. So I want to know if it's a location thing, if it's a stuff, how it's moving thing, or what, if it's a combination of those things. Most of the time it's location, most of the time. And when things aren't going well. When they are going well, it's usually because the stuff and the location's good.